I believe ours is 1 degree, roll them all, IGEN.
What is up, people of the internet? My name is Avery and I've just finished my second year of electrical engineering at UBC. But throughout my second year, I always wondered what second year was like for all the other engineering programs at UBC. So I reached out to a bunch of people, and in this video, we'll be covering almost everything you need to know before heading into second year integrated engineering. Timestamps will be in the description below if you want to reference certain parts of this video again in the future. And without further ado, let's dive into second year integrated engineering at UBC.
Hi, my name is Haruna and I just finished my second year in integrated engineering. I'm very indecisive, just in general, so I wanted to have more flexibility and freedom in what I was learning. I love learning just in general as well, so I didn't want to be limited in that sense. So IGEN really lets you choose and navigate your degree to your liking, which I really loved. And also the club room for IGEN, the MECH shop and ELEC shop, we just have so many things to do and we have so much flexibility, so I really love that. In total, I took 13 courses, and each semester I think it was about 6.5 because one is over 2 semesters. Math 253. That was an interesting course. Not my favorite. I think every engineer has to take it, so it's fine. You just gotta do it. I think there were 2 midterms and then 1 final. Math 255 was definitely one of my favorite courses because we were the first year to have the mastery way of learning. So once you mastered a concept, you didn't have to retake it. You'd learn a new concept every week and then you'd get tested on that. And then if you got that learning outcome, you wouldn't have to be tested on it again. You mastered it. I didn't even have to take the final exam. I actually got 100% in that course. So I loved it. It was great. I believe we had 1 midterm. I could be wrong, there could have been 2. Once you did the quizzes and you didn't get that outcome, you could have the chance to redo it on the midterm. So you'd have the second chance, and if you didn't get that chance, then you'd do it on the final. And if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. I think that was fluid mechanics. We took it with Enviro Kids, some other disciplines as well. That was a pretty tough course, I would say. The final was pretty brutal. There was a project, no midterm, I believe. It's a pretty interesting course. You learn about viscosity and all that fun stuff, but it wasn't my favorite. I really loved the structure of ELEC 204. Just because we had Shahriyar as our prof. He was so nice. He was the life of the party. He always has a deck of cards with him, so he loves magic tricks. If you ask him to do a magic trick, he will gladly do one. So if you get Shahriyar, ask him to do a magic trick. We took the class with EngBiz students as well, and it was a take-home exam and take-home midterm. It was really chill. But it's a gamble with that take-home stuff because you don't essentially learn as much, in my opinion. But I still really loved the course. Yeah, ELEC 205 was the lab for 204. It was just a continuation and applying your learning. It lined up pretty well with what you were learning in class, so it was really helpful to reinforce your understanding and your learning. So CHBE 241 was energy and material balances. I had Ali Reza as my prof. He was fun. He tells you to smile a lot. There were not a lot of smiles in that course, but it's like you gotta take it. If you put your head down and do the midterm, do the final, you should be okay. APSC 278 is it's a materials course. So that was also one of my favorite courses, I'd say, because you could really apply your learning to real-world applications. We also had Gabby as our prof. She's really nice. The slides are structured really well, so it's easy to pay attention in the course. Yeah, it's a fun course. We had 2 midterms and 1 final, and then also a lab associated with it. APSC 279 was my favorite lab. It was so fun. They lined up so well with the lectures, so you could really apply your learning there. We did like concrete building, a bunch of stretching of materials, seeing the composition. You could shoot a gun. It was one lab section per week. I took mine later in the week. Some people took it earlier. I liked having mine later so you could know what was coming. It was a really chill lab. The lab instructor was also really nice. So. CHBE 244 was thermodynamics. You learned a lot about math, going in and out of systems, open and closed systems, energy and all that stuff. I'd say I liked 241 better than I did 244. They're very similar in a sense, so they kind of build off each other. 3 hours of lecture per week. Not sure how many tutorials there were. I think there were just, it was 2 hours bi-weekly, which was kind of painful. CPEN 312 was a journey. I remember we had Jesus as our prof. He does not like IGENs. I remember the first lecture, he was like, see this? Yeah, IGENs, We were like, okay, cool, that's great. 2 hours of lecture, I believe, on 2 days a week. So 4 hours of lecture in total. We also had a lab with that one, and one midterm, one final. It was a rough one, I'm not gonna lie. The first part of the course was pretty okay. It was just about arithmetic and logic. But then you get to the second part of the course, and it's about VHDL, Verilog. Ugh. IGEN 201 was with Matt Wong. Love that guy. He's easy to talk to, easy to listen to. You just kind of sit in the class and listen, get your attendance marks. I never really paid attention in that course. I did fine. It's called TechCom, so you have to take it. You know, it was a good course. You learn a lot, and it's very helpful for your future, I'd say. You learn about salary negotiation and like how to have meetings and how to be professional. So it's a helpful course. Yeah, you just sit and listen. Do your little discussion posts. MECH 260 was mechanics of materials. So you could really apply that learning and connect it with materials, APSC 278. So those really overlapped, which was pretty nice. I had Ponga as my prof, so he actually skipped over the most important unit, which is not gonna be great for MECH 360, which I have to take in the future. I'm not excited about that. But overall, I liked the stuff we were learning, but it was pretty difficult, especially the final. The final was horrible. Worst final I've ever taken. But we had 4 midterms. The 2 of them were 10%, the rest were 15%. Our prof would give us different midterms, completely different questions. So the distribution was like, whack. But I think that also depended on the prof, because I know other people who took it in different terms, different profs, and they had a different experience. But yeah. IGEN 230 was definitely an experience. It's unique to IGEN, so it spans across both semesters. So it's a 6-credit course. The first project you work on is the line following robot. It's really fun. And once you get it, it's really rewarding in a sense. But the profs didn't teach us anything. They kind of just throw you out there and say, okay, build this robot. And you're just there like, okay, how? Like, what robot? How are we doing this? I don't know anything. So you're just kind of thrown out there and left to do what you will. And they even give you a little robot kit, but with the wrong part, wrong instruction manual. You really have to figure things out on your own. But I really found it helpful to talk to upper years, work with others, because you're all there to help each other. You're all there to succeed. After figuring it out and redoing it, fixing a bunch of stuff, some tears, you get your line following robot and you make it follow different courses. So there's 4 different courses to take. It's a fun project, a bit traumatizing. That was the first semester project. And then near the end of the first term, you start working on your term-long capstone project. That's also one thing that's unique to IGEN. We get to do a capstone project every single year. I really love that aspect of IGEN, so you get to work on your own little passion project. You think of a concept, you present it, and then the class votes on your ideas. Based on those votings, I believe 10 projects get chosen. depending on how big the class is, and you're put into groups of 5 or 6. You work with your team to create this idea, which is really cool. It's really inspiring because you get to see what you can really do with your learning. I came up with the idea of creating heated snow goggles, so for skiing. I was really tired of getting snow and ice stuck to my goggles when I was skiing, so that's what I presented, and my idea ended up getting chosen. So I was the lead of this team of 5 engineering students. We all worked together over the term. It's really difficult because there's no guidance, just like the line following robot. With your team, you're pretty passionate about this project. At least I was, because it was my idea and you get to like really make this idea come to life. So that was so fun. The props for this course were, may I say, horrible. Yeah, they were not great props. We had lectures scheduled. We had this time to work on our projects, but our profs didn't care. They said, oh, we have other courses. We don't have time for you. So we were just like, okay, so we don't have a new lecture. We don't know where to get help. No lectures. We had, I believe, 4 hours were scheduled. We didn't have any. We had 1 online meeting for 15 minutes every week as a check-in. And then you'd ask your prof, oh, I don't know how to do this. They go, oh, cool. You're like, okay, but what? This prof is Joseph Yan. But near the end, it's kind of a hassle to get everything ready. You know, you want to make sure your project works. So you do a lot of testing, iterations, brainstorming, teamwork. As a team lead, you learn how to take control and stay organized and make sure everyone's doing their things on time. It's a learning process for sure, but I'm glad I did it and I'm excited to do it next year. So, yay. I would say the biggest thing that helped me was taking the CPEN lab later in the week, because the labs are very difficult. They take a long time, and for those of you who have it earlier in the week, say Monday, you are gonna struggle. I would recommend it later in the week just so you have more time and you can also get help from others as well and really try to get that lab done in time. For me specifically, I found second year a lot easier than first year. I enjoyed it so much more. I had a blast in second year, especially in first term. I was so laid back, I was relaxed, especially with the Math 255 and ELEC 204, the take-home midterm and exam. I loved it, and the IGEN 230 as well. It's pretty chill. It's a fun course, and you just have time to really engage with others and get to know everyone in the program, so it's really fun. Second term is a different story, especially because you have CPEN 312 and MECH 260. They're just harder courses in my opinion. That felt a bit more like the first year struggle to me, because first year was pretty difficult. You're jumping from high school to university, so it's a lot of change, but yeah. Second year was a lot better for me just because I knew what to expect. I knew what worked for me. I knew how to optimize my learning, and yeah. Yeah, I would say either CPEN 312 or MECH 260. It also depends on whether you took coding in high school or previously, or you have a previous knowledge in coding, because I didn't, so I found CPEN 312 quite difficult. It's not really the first half of the course where I struggled, it was the second half. And then MECH 260 is just a really hard course in general, especially if you get a bad prof. I'd say it's tied between those two, but the final really threw me for MECH 260. That was an eye-opener. I don't believe there's room for electives in second year. I believe that's more of a third year, fourth year thing. Oh yeah, for sure. I know friends who dropped CPEN 312 because it's a really difficult course and it's just a lot. You can drop IGEN 201. There's quite a few you can drop and take later. You just have to be careful about prerequisites, like MECH 260, because we have to take MECH 360 later on, as well as some of the CHBE courses, because we also have to take one more CHBE course, so yeah. I personally didn't, and I did okay. I did fine. I'm here. I'm thriving. But if you would like to, one thing I would suggest is if you don't have any programming knowledge, that probably would have helped me a little bit. for CPEN 312. Math 255, you'll be okay. For IGEN, most people I talked to did get in who applied. Anybody who didn't was from a different discipline. So I didn't talk to anybody who didn't get into co-op that was in IGEN, but then again, I don't talk to everyone. So yeah. It hasn't really helped me. It posts a lot about like, this job's available, or you should do this. Okay, now just hire me, please. However, it's really what you make of it, because I went to meetings and like help sessions with my co-op advisor. So I went to my co-op advisor for help, and she really provided that for me. It was really helpful. She worked and sat down with me, worked on my resume, my cover letters. So if you put in the time to use the resources they give you, it is helpful. If you don't, then it's not going to be helpful for you. I would suggest just getting any experience. I was a lead of a design team, third quadrant design, so that also helped me just because I have experience with me to kind of help me figure out what I like, and also it helps employers see that you have experience as well. And then the co-op office really likes that you have that experience to help you, and then they can help build your portfolio with that. I was on third quadrant design, so in first year I joined as a mentee, and I got to build the third space commons on campus. So we got to work with hempcrete and do a lot of hands-on learning, which is really fun. You learned from all the different team leads and worked with the other team members to build this project from the ground up, and it was really inspiring. So in my second year, I got promoted to a team lead. So I was lead of the MECH/energy team. So we worked and we entered the solar decathlon. I met a lot with the other team leads, especially architecture, because they were the foundation of the building. It's really fun. I highly recommend joining a design team that you're passionate about. I believe I will move on from third quadrant design because I figured that I've learned as much as I can learn there, and I want to try something else. So that's what design teams are also for. You learn and then you keep going. I believe it was really helpful with just my general understanding of how you can work with others, seeing how different disciplines can work together to create this project that starts as an idea and is something tangible. That's really inspiring. And then you learn how to work with different materials, different teams, how to make a project come to life, as I have said. It's a great experience. It really helped reinforce my knowledge as well, just because you get to see what you're learning, and it's great. Survival tips. I would say if you're lost, so are we. Just talk to upper years. They're always there to help you. Talk with your classmates. You're all in the same boat. You're all there to succeed. Get enough sleep. It's very important. Go to your classes if they help you. If you don't learn when you're in your classes, then what are you there for? Find what works for you and just keep going. Math 255. MECH 260. Mustaches. I believe ours is 1 degree, roll them all, IGEN. Ooh, Shariar. Joseph Yan. Maybe going to a prof when I didn't understand something, or going to their office hours, because I would just go home and try to figure it out myself. And sometimes that's not the best idea. Sometimes it's best to just ask. I'd say it was Design and Innovation Day, because that's where you got to showcase your project that you've been working on all term long. So it was really inspiring just to see everyone else's capstone projects as well. It's a long day, very tiring. You end up losing your voice at the end of the day because you're talking for a few hours straight, but it's really fun, and it was really memorable seeing everybody succeed. Oh, thing about IGEN is that you take courses from every discipline, or almost every discipline. So you're very well-rounded, but that also means you're not the master at one thing. So if I could go back and choose a different one, I don't think I would, just because I love the way IGEN is structured, because I just learned so much from different things, and I think I'm pretty well-rounded in that sense. And you also get to pick a primary and tertiary, so a major and a minor in your third year and fourth year, so you can really customize your degree. So I think that's pretty good for me. Good enough.
And that's pretty much everything you need to know before heading into second year integrated engineering at UBC. I just want to say a huge thank you to Haruna for helping me with this video and for sharing her experiences in second year. As always, gently tap the like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, I hope this video brought you value, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.